Occurred, the 13th of February 2020, 21 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location: Cedar Lake, in, USA. Shape: circle. Duration: 2 hours. Know of observers: 4 characteristics. Lights on object: aura or haze around object. Spinning light in sky. I saw weird light, so I zoomed in and well, it was a UFO. I heard humming.
Occurred, the 7th of September 2011, 21 hours 54 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location: Cedar Lake, in, USA. Shape: circle. Duration: 20 seconds. Know of observers: 2 characteristics. Lights on object: orangish circular shaped object. Multiple sightings. One craft. Over a few weeks at 21:54 we witnessed an object moving across the sky. This is now the 3rd time that multiple witnesses have seen this object. It was a circular object that was orange in color. No flashing lights to indicate a commercial or private aircraft. No red or blue or white. There was no sound to indicate the size of the craft or type of craft it may have been. Jet, commercial, etc. The object moved across the sky going south, coming from the north point in the sky. It moved behind the trees and the object was no longer visible. The other sightings were the same except for one thing: different points in the sky, but moving north to south. We have never been able to capture a photo of it until tonight. Another strange sighting we have all seen, at least 4 witnesses, was a light blue hue circular shape object about the size of a golf ball in the distance, moving slowly from east to west with a gradual descent, then changed direction and it began to head south. This sighting was a 15-second sighting before losing sight in the tree line. Now if this had happened one time we would say must have not been what we thought. But now this is the 4th strange light unexplained object that does not in any way appear to be a commercial, private or any other aircraft that I have seen. All of the sightings we later in the evening, and again no sound could be heard to indicate an aircraft that we can identify. The latitude and longitude was 41.37 degrees minus 87.45 degrees. Time stamped photo was 21:54.
Occurred, the 22nd of April 2012, 21 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location: Cedar Lake, in, USA. Shape: light. Duration: 1 month. Know of observers: 1 characteristics. Lights on object: I have seen the same object in the sky for the past month. It always appears around 9 p.m. and usually stays there until 2300. It moves but usually turns around and goes back. The speed at which it travels varies from time to time. The exact distance from me to the object is unknown. It is located east of Cedar Lake. It is also pretty high up in the sky for me to see it over the trees in my front yard.
Occurred, the 27th of July 2019, 0 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location: Cedar Lake, in, USA. Shape: cigar. Duration: 30 seconds. Know of observers: 3 characteristics. Lights on object: aircraft nearby. Cigar-shaped object with 2 bright white lights on either side. Observed a cigar-shaped object moving east to west at approximately 5,000 feet. The object was quite large and had 2 rectangle-shaped lights on the bottom at either end of the craft, which lit up for a second as the craft paused in the sky. Then when the lights went out, it jumped several hundred feet forward and repeated that pattern as it made its way across the sky. It was completely silent and flew directly over our location as all 3 of us looked up and tried to make sense of what we were seeing. Kinda flew like a rocket but no sound or smoke and flew parallel to the ground.
Occurred, the 1st of August 1954, 17 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location: Dyer, IN, USA. Shape: triangle. Duration: 15 seconds plus. Know of observers: 1. I saw a silent, exhaustless, golden glowing, slow-flying triangle on a late summer afternoon in 1954 or 1955. Peter, this is the sighting that I spoke to you about last week on the Jeff Rentz show. On event duration I put in 15 seconds, but I left and ran home, through trees, before the craft, which moving and turning slowly, left view. This triangle was not a sharp arrowhead type but just the opposite, a wing-like triangle much shorter than its width. Its appearance was wider than the moon, maybe 2.5 moons. It was bright gold colored and there was no variation that would give a clue as to any curvature or depth to it. It could have been a flying flat two-dimensional object for all I could tell. It was turning slowly without banking and there was no sound nor exhaust. The turning was gradual and I assumed it was a small directional correction rather than a complete change, but I didn't observe the final direction.
Occurred, the 17th of June 1996, 14 hours 45 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location, Dyer, IN, USA. Shape, diamond. Duration, 30 seconds. No of observers. 1. A black-shaped object, almost triangular-shaped but slightly diamond-shaped, hovering above a tree by a park. I was driving north on Hart Street heading towards a park which is approximately a mile south of the intersection of Hart Street and US 30. As I was approaching the park, the road does a very slight left turn and has a slight decline which allows you to see the tree line. I saw a black object which looked triangle-shaped at first, but as I got closer I could see that it was more diamond-shaped. It was a very sunny day out and I was wearing my prescription sunglasses and I was driving a work car back to the office. I saw this object literally staring at me, or so it seemed. It was looking right at me and I just stared at it the entire time. I think it noticed that I was able to see it and it started to slowly drift towards its left, my right. It was hovering above the tree line and just turned into the trees, where I lost sight of it because I was then underneath it and lost sight because of the roof of the vehicle. The very split second I lost sight of that, something told me to make a quick scan at the park to see if anyone saw this. Not a single person saw this object, they were all playing soccer and tennis. I was just in total shock when I saw this. I should have stopped and got out of the car, but you never know how one would react in a certain situation. I saw this object very close and up front. It was a solid black metallic object. Whatever this thing was, it simply defied any law of gravity. It hovered about the tree line and didn't rustle a single leaf. It made no noise whatsoever. There was no exhaust coming out of it like you see with any vehicle, and was apparently invisible to everyone except me. After this happened, I was in total shock. I didn't even tell anyone until the next day, and of course nobody believed me. I tried to examine and research for any possible explanation and came up with nothing. I was scared to death to really even talk about this to anyone aside from my closest friends, and then once I told them, I never mentioned it again until many years later. I know what I saw is real. I came up with only one logical solution, and it's far-fetched at that. The only reason I saw this object on that sunny day in June is because I wear prescription sunglasses, and I believe that these sunglasses were able to bend the rays of light and allow me to see this object. I know this is far-fetched, but my sunglasses have this reddish tint in them that makes certain colors look different. The sun looks reddish in these sunglasses, especially around sunset.
Occurred, the 15th of July 2010, 3 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location, Dyer, in, USA. Shape, orb. Duration, 30 to 40 seconds. No of observers. One glowing blue sphere 6 to 7 feet off the ground. I had let my dog out to go potty at about 3 a.m. that night. I opened the door and my dog went out. We have a motion detection floodlight in that area of our backyard, and it went on. My dog proceeded to enter the yard and do his business. During the time the dog was urinating, a small sky blue glowing sphere, about 8 to 9 inches in diameter, came around from the rear of my garage. It proceeded toward us. I was standing in the door holding it open for my dog. It stopped abruptly and paused a couple of seconds, then blinked out. It simply, suddenly, disappeared. The dog was finished just then, and I rushed him in the house and locked the door. The dog's back was toward the orb and he did not see it. It was totally silent. I peeked out the curtains and did not see anything at all. While it was paused, I noticed that its glow was reflecting off of my garage siding. Our garage is separate from our house, and there is a grape arbor about 12 feet away from the side of the garage. It flew between the garage and the grape arbor. It was about 6 to 7 feet off of the ground and stopped about 45 to 50 feet from my back door.
Occurred, the 15th of May 2012, 0 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location, Dyer, in, USA. Shape, orb. Duration, 1 minute. No of observers. One blue orb-shaped craft. Getting off of work late at night while driving home, possibly 12:30 a.m. I was rounding a stretch of road where I usually catch a glimpse of the old quarry which lies to the border of Sauk Village, Illinois, my hometown. I had this unsettling feeling as I rounded the corner. I looked up and witnessed the sphere slowing down and then lowering into the quarry. Seeing this event, well, I'm used to it, as happened to me in 1999 in Stega, Illinois. I reported this case. Orbs keep showing up in Stega. I was younger back then and very scared, but this time it happened. I felt like I was ready and I felt more in tune to its presence. Something significant is going to happen very soon, and I feel like one of their tuning forks. I dreamt of these black orbs in 1995. I saw 911 happen well before it happened.